A very good afternoon to all of you. After an afternoon of investment talk, it is time to relax a little bit, understand a little bit about payments that is in your life day in, day out, every day, 365 days. I'm Chu Wan Sim from UOB Cards and Payments, Managing Director. Happy to be here to spend some time with you to share a little bit about the industry, what have changed and evolved over the years, and what you as consumer need to take note of. Development and options available in the market. As Michelle have mentioned, we used to have cash, plastic cards and contactless cards, and with Apple Pay, Android Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay evolving, people are starting to digitize their card in their phones. So you see a lot of travelers on the MRT actually tapping their handphones on the reader that is actually digital card at play. So increasing prevalence of technology is really changing how we transact. In the last couple of 12 months, you also start to see a new payment in a form of QR code, which is quick response code, sorry. It can be made via a digital wallet or direct from your account. So there is actually a booth outside where you can learn how to make payment via a quick QR code where it is directly from your account. So there is traction of new payments, and with new payments, what you as consumer need to take note of. Over the last 2 years, from April 2016 to actually April 2018, we see emergence of such payment. It has actually grown more than 3 times in Southeast Asia. Back in 2016, in Singapore, there are only a couple of wallets. Now, we see NetsPay, OCBC Pay Anyone, GrabPay, FavePay. All these payments are purely helping you to make payment easy, moving into a cashless society. And as government regulators, what do you need to do to be informed and also to grow in tandem to actually address customer concern? In a smart nation, there are a total of 6 key pillars. It's on the extreme right-hand side. But what is particular of interest to e-payment and going towards a cashless society is really the first top 2. The first one is about national digital identity, which serves to have a common platform to enable a common identity across all banks and institutions. A common identity platform also comes in the form of MyInfo, whereby banks can now have access upon your permission with regards to your income to provide convenience and as well as make application for cards and loans easier. Much have been done in the space of e-payments really. Again, when we talk about e-payments, we can't not talk about Pay Now. So if some of you have actually watched the video before my session, you can see that when you go out and eat with your friends, Pay Now make it easy and convenient. Instead of transferring to an account, you purely need to make a payment to the mobile number, which most of you all will have. Other than paying individual buying Pay Now, there will be movement towards helping small, medium enterprise to also enable corporate Pay Now. Meaning next time, if a plumber is to come to your house, fix your water pipe, you no longer need to write a check, you merely need to do a Pay Now if the plumber actually has a Pay Now account. Tuition center, tutors coming to the house. No more checks payment, mainly using a mobile phone to make a payment to her mobile account. So with convenience, there is also a concern from customer. Will my data be protected? Is the platform secure? Will I be subject to phishing, fraudsters, and scamming? The answer is actually yes. You need to be concerned about data protection. You need to be mindful of what you need to do to protect yourself. Even during the days of credit cards and fund transfer, there are already protective measures that is protecting our customers. So for example, EMV chip. For those who are holding on to a credit card, you will notice that on the card there is a chip-like material. That is actually an EMV chip. That chip helps to prevent skimming as well as cards cloning. So that is really the days of past where a fraudster will actually scam and copy your credit card to make a card exactly like yours. So with EMV chip, that is really a thing of past. Second, overseas MaxStrike usage. Most of you guys, when you receive your credit card, some of the cards are already activated for overseas use. So if you do not intend to use the card for overseas use for a long period of time, my advice is actually to deactivate your overseas MaxStrike usage so that the card would not be fraudulently used overseas. Should you travel, activate it then. Two-factor authentication. This is for in transactions which are a little bit more risky. You will be asked to key in the second level of authentication, which usually is in the form of OTP, SMS OTP. Third, liability cap. Liability cap is capped at $100 or even at times zero liability if you have done your due diligence as a customer to notify the bank of the lost or stolen card. We have also one-time password via SMS OTP for online transactions. And last but not least, transaction triggers. Basically, transaction being sent to you when a transaction is being done. There will be regulations, and financial institutions have actually been working very closely hand in hand to ensure peace of mind when you make e-payments. So two forms. One is the e-payment user protection guideline. The second is the Payment Services Act. What is of particular interest is actually the first one, e-payment user protection guideline, which I will go into details in the subsequent slides. What do you need to know to protect yourself? How am I protected? So first of all, banks will actually provide you with a very comprehensive transaction notification alerts and a reporting channel, meaning with effect from as early as October, in the year June, July, transaction done via your e-wallets, mobile payment, online purchase, and even via your ATM, you should get a notification with regards to the transactions. So you'll be informed when a transaction is actually made via these 4 electronic channels. And what do you need to do as a consumer? You need to, number one, make sure that your contact number with the bank is most updated, or your email address with the bank is most updated, as the bank typically will make use of these 2 channels to send you a notification. Number 2, the banks will actually help to investigate all claims of unauthorized transaction with the aim of achieving a fair and reasonable resolution. So if you have any fraudulent transactions that you have seen, immediately report it to the bank. Within 21 days, for very simple cases, the banks will help you to resolve it. For cases which are a little bit more complex, the banks have up to 45 days to come back to you with a resolution. However, this guideline also set to ensure that you as a consumer make sure you take responsibility. For example, you need to protect your own device, login credential, access codes, as well as protected accounts. I'm going to share a couple of examples, actually particularly one that just came out, and I would like to also stress that it had happened to me it would have happened to me if I have not taken into account of what is happening in the industry. So it's important for you when you receive a call, an email, to be sure where it is coming from. So not reading this example, I'm going to share my personal example. I actually received a call from Singtel, and it was a guy in a very Indian accent voice telling me that he noticed that someone has been tapping on my internet access and I've been paying more than what I should. As a consumer, obviously I'll be nervous. Who is tapping on my internet access and what is happening? But actually, as a practitioner and as someone who is in tune of what is happening in the market, I kind of already suspected that it is a scam call. So I entertained the guy. So I asked, what do you want? He said that because someone has been tapping on my access, I need to log on to a website, key in particulars like my user ID as well as my ID as well as my password, and more will follow suit. In case the phone is also being tapped, I immediately hang up the phone. The next day, I actually saw a news that says that a lady has been scammed $300,000 from the same act. So in short, all I'm telling you, consumer, is the fact that scammers can send you an email asking you to click on the link. They can send you an SMS, click on the link, or even a phone call. What is important is to ensure that, number one, do not download any attachment from unsolicited email. Do not click on any email links or URL. If you need to visit a bank website, please key it in. Mouse your mouse over the email link or the URL to actually check the actual internet phone and tab. So for example, this email that is from UOB, if you have bounced over the login to your internet banking, you will actually realize that it looks fishy. So things like this, please do not click on it. Okay, I've gone through the phone scam as well as the SMS scam. So all in all, 4 top security tips to really keep your account secure. The first one, personal security. Treat your personal ID, your password, as real money in your wallet. You will never reveal them to anyone. So do not reveal your password, your ID to anyone who calls you, email you, send you an SMS. Number 2, transaction security. Always log out after an online transactions or mobile banking session. Type in the URL of the website directly into the browser, as I've mentioned. And the third one, when you're using a mobile device or a laptop, please do ensure that you install the latest antivirus software on your mobile device and use operating system and browser that are up to date. And last but not least, when it comes to password, do not use names or things that is very easily identifier to you. So like just now the video, she was advised to use I love Kaya in the morning at 8 a.m. where there is a mixture of uppercase, lowercase, numeric. Check your statements regularly and contact the bank immediately if you suspect that your account has been compromised. So these are the top security tips that I hope is useful to help to keep your account secure. Thank you.